Test 1, 2.
Please, please. Hey, Beth. Beth.
Are you going to let us finish our sentence?
Yeah, you finish your sentence. I don't know the rest of the life.
Maybe have a whole other minute cut it on.
Yeah.
I know. I believe it.
Once we run this through, so it's easier to
Well, we each go two.
All right, if I can get everyone's attention really quick, we're about 10 minutes from starting, but if I could get all the candidates just to meet right up here, up front, we're going to go through a couple things with regards to the microphone and schedule and all that, so thank you. everybody. We are just a few minutes from getting started, so we can start finding our seats. All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming. My name is Darren Sorley. I'm the Executive Director of the Wamego Area Chamber of Commerce, and along with a number of partners, helped put this event on tonight. So I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you for being invested and involved community members and coming out for this forum. I would also like to say, if you have feedback or otherwise, feel free. You can find my contact information. Be happy to listen to that and discuss more with you, because one of the roles we like to play in the community is that of being able to put on these types of events to share information, learn about upcoming elections. If you've looked at the calendar coming up for next year, we're going to have a whole bunch of local elections going on next year. So between county commission, additional school board seat, sheriff race, there'll be a number going on. So look for some more coming in the future. A couple other thank yous I'd like to say. One, to the candidates, thank you all for being here, and thank you all for running. I grew up in a household that had a school board member in it, and educators, and I know it can be a very thankless job and one that requires an awful lot of time and energy and a very steep learning curve. So thank you all for being here this evening. I would also like to thank Beth Day from the Wamego Times and Smoke Signal for being our moderator this evening and being involved in this process. And then we had a number of folks involved in the planning of the evening. And specifically, I'd like to thank Crystal Bruner, who is doing this, has been involved in this as part of her, got to get this right, Education Leadership Master's Degree project, and is also going to be helping the Chamber with a number of those other forums that I mentioned coming up in the next year, as well as some legislative coffees next spring during our state legislative session. So thank you, Crystal, for all the legwork that's going into those. Finally, the last thing for me, just ask that we respect the candidates this evening. We've got a number of questions to get through tonight, and Beth will be asking those. We'll be switching up the order a little bit and moving around a little bit in what order the candidates answer those questions. I would just ask that you respect the candidates and their answers, and obviously remain as quiet as possible so that everyone can hear those answers and hear the questions as we go. The questions will also go up onto the TV screen behind the candidates, so you can kind of follow along with where we're at. So with that, I'm going to introduce Beth Day from the newspaper. She's got a few more details to share, and we'll get started. So thank you all for being here.
I'd like to thank you all for coming too. It's nice to see people get into the electoral process. We try to do the same with the newspapers with our candidate forums, and so we hope you see those as well. I'm the rule person here tonight, so I'm the one that's going to glare evilly if they miss their times. Go over so that they all know what the rules are, but I want to go over so it's just fair that the audience knows what they are. The candidates will get an opening and closing statement, and there will be 2 minutes allotted to each candidate for that statement. And then each of the 5 questions that we will ask will have 1 minute allotted per candidate. And the time will be kept by our timekeepers back there. They can raise their hands if they're timekeepers, so if you see them sitting back there. And then they'll raise a yellow card, and that means there are 15 seconds remaining in the question. And when they raise the red card, the candidate is asked to please stop and pass the microphone along. And then again, please respect all the candidates and let them have their say. And I suspect a few of them may hang around a little longer if you want to ask them some questions afterwards. So we're going to go with the first one, and that is their opening statements. And we're starting down here with Rochelle, and we're going to work our way that way. So opening statements, we'll begin. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I got the short straw, so I guess well, I want to thank Darren and Crystal for putting together this forum. Also, Darren and Heather for allowing us to be here in the Ironclad, which is always a great venue. Also, Dave for monitoring the event, and Alan for being our tech man. All right, so I wish best of luck to my fellow and current board members that are here tonight, and also the new faces running for a position on the board. Simply put, I am running for a 2nd term because I care about our students, our district, and our community. I actually joined the board to fill a vacancy on July 14, 2014. I was elected for my 1st term in 2015. During these years, I have been fortunate enough to be on the board with respectable individuals in our community, such as these 3 individuals sitting here with me defending our seats, plus Richard Wexelman, Amy Schwein, Joe Steele, Mark Betancourt, Rob Adams, Corey Myers, Rob Petty, Cheryl Roller, and Nikki Ziegler. I mention these individuals because I have learned from each of them how to be a passionate board member, to set students' education, safety, and success as a priority, and to work as a unit to govern our district and embrace policy changes. In the 4.5 years I have been on the negotiation committee for 4 years, I have taken time to attend the Board of Education conference for 3 years, been part of the interview process for superintendent and the principals, was part of the passing of the $20 million bond, fought to be heard with the drug testing policy. I have supported teachers and staff. I have listened and shared concerns through the proper channels and took appropriate action when necessary. Above all, I have always put students first. The education and safety of our students is what we are here for. It is imperative that we keep this in mind with every decision and all conversations.
Is it on? Hi. My name is Deb Long. I've been a teacher in this school district for 36 years. I retired in May, and I was honored to be asked to run for District 1 School Board Representative. My passion is still there, and I will carry that passion with me if elected to be the District 1 representative. I've been married for 36 years to my husband, John. We have 3 children together. We have Melissa, Brent, and Crystal, and they all 3 went through the school system, and they all graduated from Wamego. They had amazing teachers who helped them to continue their education after high school. I received my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, and my reading specialist degree all from Kansas State University. And I received my reading recovery specialist from the University of Nebraska. I continued my education past my master's by attaining an additional 40 graduate hours. I am looking forward to working on the school board and to be an active participant, to listen to and communicate with the patrons, and to be transparent to the community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tara Miller. I'm running for school board position number 2. I've lived in Wamego most of my life. I attended Wamego schools, graduating in 1997, and I now have 3 children attending Wamego schools. They're in 6th, 8th, and 11th grades. My children are involved in band, choir, theater, track, NHS, FCCLA, and peer chamber. It is so important to support all children in all activities, but education should be our #1 priority. I have been an active member of PTOs, site councils, and music boosters. I have volunteered many hours in my children's classrooms and schools. I feel that communication between the board members, educators, administrators, and community members is essential to a successful Board of Education and district. If I am elected, I will strive to achieve this. I look forward to the opportunity to serve the community.
Hello, my name is Dana Stelk, and I'm running for the USD 320 Board of Education District 2 position. I grew up here in Wamego and came back to raise my family. I've been active in the youth since I was a youth. Whether it's coaching, a Cub Scout leader, volunteering in the classroom, or mentoring at the high school, I've always enjoyed being part of the youth programs. My husband Sean and I have our son Alex, who is a junior here at Wamego High, who is active in sports and other extracurricular activities. I am proud to live, work, and serve in the great hometown that I grew up in. And I am excited to be part of the youth that could be the future of Wamego.
My name is Bruce Coleman. I want to start by again thanking Ironclad for hosting this, for Darren and Crystal putting this together. I feel it's very important that we have this opportunity to share some of our achievements, some of our goals, some of our passions with the people of Wamego. I'm a parent of 2 students, one now in middle school and one that's a junior in high school, both involved in extracurricular activities. I've served on the board for the past 4 years and have been involved in many of the following district enhancements. I was a part of hiring Mr. Winter to be our new superintendent. I was a part of hiring Mr. Graber to be our new middle school principal. I have a strong advocate for the bond issue for security and facility improvements, help implementing the one-to-one technology for all students in our district. I have been a part of the teacher contact negotiation team for all 4 years that I have been on the board. I believe that our #1 priority is to advocate for our students, ensuring that they have the best opportunities available so that they are prepared to succeed once they leave Wamego High School. I look forward to discussing board issues this evening and look forward to answering questions. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Monica Schaefer. I have been a resident of Wamego for 10 years. I'm married to Phil Schaefer, and we have 3 children. Lauren just graduated this past May. Sarah is a senior, and Sid is in 8th grade. I have been a substitute teacher and a homeschooling mother when my husband's work schedule at that time was not conducive to having the kids gone all day. He was working swing shift. Once that season of our life was over, though, I had no qualms about sending my children back to Wamego schools. After they'd grown up a little, I decided to go back to college myself, and I've recently acquired my master's in biology from Kansas State University. As a recent college student who taught multiple labs to undergraduate students, I know what was required of myself and what was expected of students to perform at the college level. Our students need to receive a quality education first and foremost. However, traits such as initiative, respect, perseverance, and striving to go above and beyond are all qualities a student must have. I have seen this firsthand, and it means the difference between a student succeeding or failing. While I do have recent knowledge of college requirements, I also know what it is like to graduate high school and go straight to the workforce. I found that the same rules apply. A solid education, along with those aforementioned qualities, initiative, respect, perseverance, being able to go above and beyond, are what employers are looking for in quality employees. Our students need to be prepared mentally and emotionally for what is going to be required of them, no matter which path they choose. Everyone in our community, parents, teachers, administrators, everyone has a stake in helping our children succeed. I would be honored to take on the task of representing District 3 if elected, and would always have an open door and highly encourage anyone in the district to reach out and discuss our students and district's needs. Thank you.
Good evening. For those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Ryan Hargett. I've currently been on the school board for 4 years now. I know Corey's here tonight. I've sat in the hot seat for 1 year as the president, and I've also served as 2 years as the vice president. I'm currently the vice president at this time. I'd also like to thank Crystal for putting all this all together, Darren, for your time tonight. I'm excited this is happening. 4 years ago, I ran unopposed. So, and I joke about that a lot. I was the best candidate back then. And so, I'm excited to see this turnout. I'm excited to see our community so invested, interested, and wanting to, be a part of our student success. I think that's a huge part. We have one role as a school board and a small part in the overall success of our student, but the community, the teachers, the parents, the ones that have the everyday contact with our students are the people that have the most impact. So my wife's sitting here front row. We moved here in 2007. My wife Christina is here tonight. She took her first job with the school district back in 2007, so we have been here for 12 years now. I have a 10-year-old that's in Mrs. Lynn's building, and then I have a 2-year-old that's coming your way. So I don't think Terry's here tonight. But when a lot of people ask me about my experience on the board and why I decided to run again, it's been one of the most humbling things I've ever done. I was a little overwhelmed for a while. What it takes to run a school district of this size and everything that's involved is pretty amazing. So, but I've learned a lot, been a part of a lot of things I'm really proud of in the first 4 years here, hiring Tim, hiring a new principal, the bond work, everything we've been able to do so far, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be here for another 4 years. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Claudia McAllister, and I'm running for USD 320, position 7, the at-large. The really cool thing about the at-large, as Ryan can tell you, is you get to serve your whole district, not just one portion. However, if I was running for one of the other positions, I definitely would consider myself representing all. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, why am I running? Well, I was born with a heart to serve. I've been blessed with the opportunity to give time to the community as a stay-at-home mom. About 8 years ago, my next-door neighbor, a dear friend, suggested I should run for the school board. At that time, I didn't think it was right for me for 2 reasons. One, I had 2 kids and activities that kept me very busy. 2, I just didn't have the experience that it would take to be on a board. The suggestion stayed tucked to the back of my head, and I really loved the idea of serving an amazing community and district, so I decided to work towards becoming a school board member. I've served 11 years on the school site council. It has been my pleasure to serve on the site council in every building in this district. I have also served the last 2 years on the district site council and helped them work towards their accreditation. It was my pleasure to also serve on the bond committee with Ryan and all the other school board members and work towards getting that passed so that we could improve the school. But the biggest thing I did to prepare for this position was to run and serve for the last 6 years at the Wamego Public Library, with 2 years of that being as the chair. It was there that I realized that the biggest challenge facing any organization is communication, with all involved. So it was my job to pull together the staff, the public, and the friends group, and I think we did a really good job at that. And I'd like to bring that experience to USD 320.
Thank you, candidates, for your very well done opening statements. We're going to start with our first question, and poor Michelle is going to be back on the hot seat again to start. Sorry, I didn't do this. You can blame Darren. So let me go ahead for the audience, and we're going to read the question, which you guys all have, and it's: what specific issue do you believe is the most relevant to USD 320 at this time, and what will you do to prioritize and address that issue?
Okay. I really have 2 issues, but I'll try to get them both in. But the number one issue is to provide opportunity to our high school students to be career ready, to really embrace the diversity of each student has I'm sorry about that, the diversity of what each student has the inclination to pursue. Help empower students to visualize career pathways and previously thought were unattainable or even know where to begin. And so I resolved this by having a full-time career-ready counselor at the high school. We almost have that now, but I would like to see somebody do it full-time. Have more resources aligned to career-ready so we can set to reach out to VOTEC, military, National Guard, specialty schools such as art or culinary schools, and all other non-four-year college opportunities for students. Bring in-house more career-ready classes such as auto repair and emergency services partnership.
Thank you. Michelle, your time is over. Okay, Deb.
Thank you. I believe that communication with all stakeholders is a priority factor. Stakeholders being the school board, employees of USD 320, and of course the community. I think it is important for people to understand the issues that are being addressed within our school districts and our schools and listen to all the people and their opinions. To communicate answers to questions and why or how those answers came to be. To address the issue would be to have the school board meetings be televised so that all people can hear the meetings. And if they do have questions, they will be able to address it to the individual person. I think it is also important for school board members to go within schools and to be at activities and an active participant and to be transparent to the communities. Thank you.
There are obviously many areas that the board must focus on. One that sticks out to me in particular is budget. This affects so many areas, including teacher salaries and retention, support of extracurricular activities, maintaining our buildings and grounds, and supporting our curriculum. We just need to assure that we are being fiscally responsible and using our funds in the most efficient way possible. Review and approval of the budget is an important role of the Board of Education.
The issue that I feel is relevant to USD 320 at this time is exposing our students to all post-high school options, whether it's going straight into the workforce, attending a technical college, or completing a 4-year degree. I think that partnering up with area tech schools and colleges, we can educate our students on the correct path for them.
The most pressing issue is the fact that we are pushing all of our students towards college, while it is statistically proven that not all students are going to attend college. We must provide avenues for all students, whether it be college or career readiness. We at USD 320 are moving into a technology-based community, and we're moving our teaching system towards these advances to make sure that our students are completely prepared and confident with their skills upon graduation.
Procuring and retaining quality teachers is most relevant to our district at this time. Research has shown that an effective teacher is the most important factor contributing to a student's success. To effectively accomplish school redesign in KISA, we need teachers who are willing to stay and see it through, and with too high of a turnover, that will never happen. Open communication between teachers, parents, administration, and the school board is necessary to accomplish goals, and lets everyone know they are respected and that their opinion is valued. Our district, having effective, caring teachers, demonstrates that it is putting our children's needs and education first.
Being on the school board for 4 years now, I think I can come up with quite a few things that I would say are very important. Kind of what's on my mind right now, and if you've been to any of the meetings and maybe you've heard me talk before, I'm very passionate about our non-traditional students and alternative career pathways. And I think you're maybe hearing several candidates tonight talk about those kids that aren't going to be going to 4 years. The world has changed on us in the working world, and especially for our children. The days of 40 years at one job and a guaranteed retirement aren't what they used to be. And I'm really passionate about, and I wish I could, and I've spoken this in public meetings, Jack Olson's here tonight, the work he's doing with Work Keys, with Gina Kugler, and the stuff they're trying to do for the CTE, and the different career pathways is what I'm most passionate about right now, giving all of our students an equal opportunity to succeed.
I agree with everyone's comments previous. I mean, there is a lot that is important to our school district, but for me, I believe the retention of experienced staff is one of the most important issues. We need to be proactive and less reactive when it comes to the needs of our district. From the replacement of aged-out school buses to making sure teachers have all they need for students to succeed, to the threat of vaping in our schools, all staff should have what they need to do their best work. The board's communication over the needs with all staff will best help serve all the students if we all can communicate. Thank you.
Thank you guys for the first question, and on to the second one, and Beta drew the short straw to start the second question.
We thought we'd give Michelle a break.
Yeah, she is one. Okay. So looking into the future, an increasing competitive labor market, what will you do to foster a district-wide culture that is conducive to attracting and retaining talented teachers and staff?
I believe that by creating a work environment where teachers and staff feel appreciated and supported is a great way to attract people to work and stay here in the district. I believe that by being available for teachers to reach out to us as board members on issues is also a good thing.
Didn't realize it was next, sorry. The teachers and support staff within the district should be a #1 priority. Without good educators, we cannot expect a great education for our children. We need to support our educators with fair pay, retention bonuses, continuing education opportunities, and overall support from administrators and the Board of Education. The teachers should feel comfortable approaching the board with questions or concerns, and when the board has decisions to make regarding curriculum, grading scales, etc., I think it is important to talk with the educators and hear their thoughts. They're the ones that deal with our children every day. They're the ones that know what works and does not work in the classroom. We need to be able to make our community a place that teachers want to live and raise their children so that they are vested in our community and therefore want to stay.
I agree with what they said. Teachers and support staff is a priority. All school districts carry a reputation that can foster bringing in wonderful teachers and maintaining our amazing teachers that we already have. A competitive salary is to retain these amazing teachers and to bring in educators that will become a positive, supporting member and become a part of the USD 320 family. The cost of living has gone up, but the salaries have not matched that. It is difficult for our staff to live in a community due to that. We need to start putting money aside for salaries for teachers so that we can build their salaries and be competitive with the other school districts. Thank you.
Okay, we have smart and wonderful teachers now and staff, which is noted and appreciated, and actually one of my favorites is sitting right next to me. To attract and retain, we have to have nice updated facilities, which I feel we have, create a supportive management environment by making sure everyone is heard, provide leadership opportunities and establish a mentoring program, facilitate programs for teamwork, keep up to date with educational technology, make sure teachers have the tools they need to succeed and teach, and that includes supplies, offer competitive salaries, advancement, and be innovative and look at incentive programs. Continue to work on having a great reputation by communicating the positive things, being more transparent with the public in our community, have an open door policy with admissions, and partner with the community, increase the resources and support availability
Thank
of
you,
resources
Michelle.
for teachers.
I know, I'm just picking on Michelle, but. And now we have the mic relay.
All right, so we need to communicate and collaborate with our teachers and staff to make sure their needs are being met so they can better serve their students. Frustration over pay, class size, and lack of leadership or support will lead us down to the path of losing experienced teachers. And our students can't afford that to happen. The board needs to be proactive with their communication with all staff and their needs. Thank you.
I think on this issue, one of the things that I am most thankful for is the community that we live in, the people, the families, the opportunity. I think this is an extremely attractive community for an educator to want to live in. I've seen firsthand in 4 years on the school board interaction with teachers and as a parent of a 10-year-old just how blessed and fortunate we are. I like to remind some of the school board members sometime I grew up in a little town in western Kansas, and if you ask this question of my brother who's on a school board out in western Kansas, this is very, very scary to them. And so for me, what we've been focused on, and on my time on the board, we're trying to work on our facilities, work on our one-to-one technology, and with school finance, which is always a challenge, we need to continue to improve what we can do for our teachers, our salaries, our benefits, what we're able to do with them. And my hopes is if school finance continues in the right direction, we'll be able to do that. Thank you.
As I stated in the last question, keeping and retaining teachers is extremely important to our students and our district. As a district, we need to pay our teachers a living wage, showing they are valued and respected. In my opinion, a budget should be about priorities. You figure out how to pay the most important items first. That means teacher salaries should be at the forefront of budget planning, not an afterthought. I will make my thoughts and opinions on this clear to the teachers. I also want to know that they can email or talk to me about any issue without the fear of repercussions. Open communication is a must to foster an environment where employees feel appreciated and secure in their job.
Facilities, technologies, pay, atmosphere, and community appreciation are the top things that help to retain those teachers. Studies show that money is not always the top priority when teachers resign from the district. I can say this because my second year on the board, we had a lot of teachers leave. So we called the principals in and asked them to tell us why each teacher left. They left because spouses either left K-State or left the military, and those jobs were taken elsewhere. So I believe that our teachers definitely need more pay as we can give it to them. Like Ryan said, we're only allotted so much money from the state, and we have to make that go everywhere. Our mission on the board is to maintain a healthy work environment, a caring and welcoming facility, and to prepare our students as well as we possibly can. If we can follow these guidelines, we will treat our teachers with the utmost respect, not only as leaders of our school, but as human beings. They will stay longer, they will feel welcome as they're at home.
Got you on this one, you got the time. And hang on to the mic, Bruce, because you're going to be up next to start. And you're going to pass that to Monica Dadaway because he did this really confusingly. So, okay, the question 3 for our candidates. The school district is one of our area's largest employers with significant personnel, facilities, operating, management, and budget considerations. What qualifications and experience did you bring to the Board of Education to effectively oversee and manage the district?
I was on the Central Elementary Site Council and PTO. I served as president as 1 year during the time that Central Elementary was getting ready for the remodel. I served on a committee reviewing the high school grading policy and advocated for improvements to the grading system. I served on the facilities committee for the district looking at necessary improvements. Along with this, I've served on Boy Scout advisory boards, looking at ways to enhance programs with very limited budgets. Even before deciding I wanted to serve on the board, I understood that I needed to educate myself on how the board worked. I have attended board meetings since my son started attending school here in Wamego. I asked questions of board members, one of which is sitting here on the front row, why they made their decisions, what financial constraints did they work under, etc. All of the history has given me an understanding of how difficult it is to balance the needs of the school with our goals for the students. I have an experience in making decisions sometimes unpopular, but be fiscally responsible while setting goals to improve our district to provide the best educational experience possible.
I am an extrovert, and I like to think I am approachable. I would not have a problem discussing issues with any members of the community. I was a director of VBS for 3 years, and that took a hefty amount of work to organize, prepare, and manage the volunteers. I have volunteered in my children's classrooms. I am the absolute opposite of a procrastinator. If a problem arises, I want to address it sooner rather than putting it off. I'm not saying I want it solved immediately. Without taking the time to thoroughly investigate it, but putting things to the wayside is not how I work. My job, of which I am one of 2 people to represent the entire state, requires me to be very proactive and a problem solver. I also interact with farmers daily and find ways to meet their needs. As far as budgets, I have touched upon the need for priorities to be met first. I have always done our household budget. We've had very lean years and good years, but we got through it without acquiring debt and living within our means.
I think I mentioned in my opening statement, when you talk about qualification or experience, this has been one of the most humbling things I ever got myself involved with. I encourage any new candidate, if they get elected, you have to dive into it. Michelle, Bruce, myself, we've been to multiple KSB trainings. I would encourage to attend an annual conference. I would encourage you to dive in and learn as much as possible. But secondly, I think a lot of this is from experience. My time serving as the president for 1 year and vice president for 2 years, I think puts me in a unique position that, you know, I've been in that seat. I've had to learn. I've had to, you know, grow in those positions. For my professional career on a daily basis, I'm an lead superintendent for a home building company that does 85 to 90 homes a year, and I'm in charge of 8 employees that oversee all of those job sites and all of that production, budgets, and facilities, everything that we're managing on a daily basis.
I have had the pleasure to help with many nonprofit boards in our great community. The October Plan Committee, the Columbian Performing Arts Committee, the Friends of the Wamego Library, and the Wamego Library Board. I've served as the president of the Friends Group and the chair of the Library Board. During my time on the Library Board, I've served on the Policy Committee and the Budget Committee. It was during my time on the Budget Committee that we worked hard to make sure that the staff was paid a competitive pay compared to other libraries of the same size. It took time, but we were able to bump them up. It is my hope that I can bring this experience to our great district.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, I have owned and managed companies and have been responsible for following all state and federal laws, created and implemented policies, and enlisted my top managers to perform the jobs as expected. And I've worked with budgets intensely. So, you know, my background in business has definitely prepared me to sit on the board. I also have 2 high school students, JJ and Eli, most of you know them. And my husband and I have been here in this community since 1997. I have an e-commerce company and a marketing company based here in Wamego, so I have vested interest in the community and not planning on going anywhere. I currently sit on the Community Care Ministries Board and very active with that organization. I have put 4 years, I sat on the Flint Hills Foster Care Teens Camp Committee. Currently, I am the marketing chair for the Wamego Raiders Booster Club.
Michelle, I'm sorry to do this to you.
I know, it's just that marketing in me.
I feel my teaching experience gives me a very unique position to ask the right questions and to help the district. I know the board policies and how they affect the teachers and how they affect the students in the classrooms. I can provide that important perspective to my fellow board members. I feel I have good communication skills and respect for other people's opinions to bring to the school board and to create a positive atmosphere even if there is disagreement. I have been a member of several committees with the district and professionally. I've been on the negotiations team, and I have served on committees interviewing and hiring teachers and principals. I have also served as the chairperson for the Relay for Life.
I am a charge nurse on a 34-bed cardiac floor at St. Francis in Topeka, and I've had this position for about 11 years now. I have served on committees reviewing policies for relevance and compliance, and when needed, helped to rewrite these policies. I have recently been involved with the committee to help retain nursing staff, developing and initiating a mentoring program for our new hires. I have served on peer review committees, reviewing potential unsafe situations and making recommendations for change within our facility. As a part of the leadership team, I am also involved in the day-to-day management of our floor, budgeting, and the interviewing and hiring process.
We are here for input and guidance. It is our job to hire great administration to operate within the policies and procedures that we put in place. The board is not responsible to manage the district.
Okay, Claudia is going to be in the hot seat first for our next question, which is a short one. Should the Board of Education meetings be broadcast on local television and/or streamed online? And please explain your reasoning.
All right, well, with communication with all stakeholders of USD 320 being part of my platform, this seemed like the perfect thing to do. However, after talking with many in the community, I've become aware that there is cost and there is fear of grandstanding for cameras. We are humans and we do like to play to the camera, as we are now. No, I'm just kidding. So it's not as black and white as I thought it would be. And so all I will say is if I am elected, I will be happy to have this discussion with the board and figure out with them what's the best for our community.
My first response to this question is I would much prefer for people to attend and be at those meetings rather than on camera, but I realize how busy people's lives are. But I think what I found out in the 4 years of serving on the board, probably the biggest maybe issue or challenges that arise maybe in the public is just a misunderstanding. I find a lot of the time if I have a chance to sit around and talk to the person and they actually learn what happened at that meeting, a lot of times we can have a healthy conversation. So if the community thinks and we decide that having this, filmed so people at home can join in, and that helps the communication between the school board, between parents, between everybody in this community, then I welcome it if we feel that's what would be best for everybody involved. But I would like to still welcome everybody to attend as much as possible.
Thank you. There are pros and cons to having school district meetings broadcast, as has been stated already, and multiple factors to consider, including cost, but overall I feel it would be a worthwhile endeavor to start looking into. If feasible, streaming the meeting online should be the priority. Families might not have cable TV access, but a bigger portion have access to the internet somewhere. If not at home, then in the libraries. But preferably using both internet and cable would be ideal. Also, while the meetings can be streamed live, I think having them accessible from the USD 320 website, at least for a period of time, would allow the community access to the meetings on their schedule. People lead busy lives, can't get childcare, etc., so having access to the meetings would be helpful with transparency between the school board and the community. Another positive note is when students are given accolades at district meetings, there would be opportunities for more of the community to see that and acknowledge it. Having this access will help with the open communication between all stakeholders, which is one of the major points I think the district needs to address.
While meetings, as Ryan stated, are already open and advertised to the public, the availability to the public is quite appealing. It is a well-meant idea, but the addition of another moving piece to board meetings could really make it very difficult, and it's quite frankly unnecessary. It can definitely be used to reach out to those who may not be able to attend, but it also puts board members at risk and is not probable for different environments of board meetings such as executive session, where those cannot be made public.
Yes, I believe that they should be available online or through cable TV. By airing the meetings, it would show transparency and give the public that want to be informed but unable to attend the meetings the ability to watch the meetings at their convenience.
I think televising or live streaming public Board of Education meetings has the potential of improving communication between the board and the community. Many members of the community may have schedule conflicts and be unavailable to attend meetings, but may be able to watch them at another time. I think it would increase accountability for the Board of Education members as well. But as some others have said, I don't know how feasible this is or what the potential cost to the district would be. I would hope that in the future a proposal could be made with these details outlined, and then it could be something that could be discussed within the board and the community, and then a decision made at that point.
Well, if you go back to my answer to the first question, that I feel like our school board meetings need to be televised to provide the best opportunity for communication within the whole community of USD 320. I feel this will give the community active participation to hear what is occurring within our district, as well as being able to go to that specific board member to ask questions or to give input. I feel that communication is one of the most valuable assets we need to tap into to make our district better. And future graduates who are wanting to look at our district will also be able to look at our school board meetings. Another note that would be beneficial to having them televised is that grandparents and family will be able to see their grandchildren receive achievements and be recognized by the school board. Thank you.
My answer is simply yes. I think we should be televised. I've always thought that ever since I've sat on the board, and I think quite a few of the board members would agree with me. I see it the same way as Beth Day does with the newspaper. She reports, she's at every one of our board meetings, and she reports and writes up, you know, what happens at the board meeting. So she is definitely our communicating member of our community that gets the facts out there of what happened in the board meeting, and I just see this as an extension of that. Our newspaper would be just like the televising. We already televise all our sporting events, so to me it's just kind of like another step in that direction. So I think anything we can do to be more transparent and more open to the community, I think it's a win-win for everyone. So, and thank you, Beth, for all that you have done over the years with the old writing.
Okay, the microphone is now passing to Bruce, and when you get done with it, you will pass it to your left. Yeah, that's the side you're watching. Oh, you're, you get me confused already, but I don't know the difference anyhow. Okay, so the fifth and final question for our board member candidates. Communication skills and technical proficiency are just a few of the key areas we know employers look at when assessing talent and fulfilling workforce needs. Describe the skill set you expect a student graduating from USD 320 schools to have following their time in the district.
We've done an impressive job at USD 320 of providing one-to-one technology at the earliest levels of education so students can understand how to work in a high-tech world. As they get older, we need to recognize that not all students are college-bound. We need to give them the tools necessary to make educated decisions on what they want to do once they graduate from Wamego. Our job is not to push our students ready for college. Our job is to prepare students with the skills needed to choose what they want to do. We need to continue to offer well-rounded electives and extracurricular activities like band, sports, theater, FCCLA, FFA, foreign languages, choir, debate, etc. We need to provide college prep classes, but we also need to expand work-ready courses like welding, CNA, entrepreneurship, graphic arts, culinary. We must continue to develop partnerships with tech schools and community colleges so our students have a variety of options to explore while in school. Education needs to be well-rounded, so our students must have a variety of options to
Bruce, I'm
explore
gonna have to get you.
during their time within the district.
Finish my sentence.
As I stated in my opening statement, there's a lot more than traditional academic learning that our students need to master. Some other skills that students need to learn are critical thinking and problem solving, financial literacy, which our school district has taken steps to see happen, and civil discourse. In today's society, we could all take a lesson in learning to hear others' thoughts and opinions in a civil manner, which I feel like we've done well tonight. My good friend Ed Dillinger was a special education teacher for 19 years. He told me he taught his students there are 3 things that will help you be employable: punctual, on time, every time; coachable, willing to follow instructions. A large complaint from employers is about employees' timeliness or lack of willingness to follow through with instructions given. And the last is tolerable, meaning willing to work with anyone, which circles back around to students needing to be able to handle civil discourse.
What I would like to see most for our students that leave our district is the confidence that they've been prepared through the classroom, through athletics, be it band, choir, ag, FACS, theater. I don't want to leave anybody out. All the amazing opportunities that our children have in and out of the classroom. I want them to know that they and have been taught the value of hard work, of perseverance, of teamwork, of accountability, and all the intangibles that it takes to succeed once they leave our school system. There is so much more that leads to the success of our students than what they get on a test, what their report card is. I don't mean this to downgrade academics. I brought this up before. They play such an important role. I don't want to open a can of worms, but I would love the ability of how we could reward our students for being punctual, being accountable, working hard, being great teammates, and some more stuff that could be, taken towards what we, give to that student and how we.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right, thank you.
Good points made tonight on this. I think the high school financial literacy class and the senior interview day are all good steps towards making sure our students aren't just academically prepared, but have real world skills. I would like to see more added to the interview day, more HR type of stuff, things that employers would expect once they join the workforce. But we already have a good start, we just need to build on it. And the other thing is, with the new Kansas accreditations that we're supposed to follow, I think that it's going to take us down the path to having successful students if we follow it. Thank you.
All right. I see that our graduates need to be excited and thrilled to be pursuing something they are interested in. Pursue their passion. Our graduates need to be career ready. They need to know the variety of options available after graduation, and their passion should define their post-secondary education. They need to be able to talk intelligently with someone they just met and look them in the eye, be able to communicate with educators, managers, and coworkers, respect others, possess a sense of teamwork, value of doing a great job and going beyond expectations, value of following through and being on time. Integrity, professionalism, discipline, and critical thinking are important. And then on the technical side of things, I think we've got that covered with our one-on-one program we implemented. I think the students are definitely learning the computer skills that are going to be needed after they graduate. And that's it.
My passion for all students to receive a well-rounded education for whatever they choose to pursue after graduating from USD 320, whether it's going on to further their education, to enter the workforce, or to pursue a career with the armed forces. Being able to problem solve, of course, is a type of situation that is crucial, as well as study skills, communication both orally and written, teamwork, integrity, and always have the drive and the confidence to better themselves. Our teachers should also have the opportunity to visit other schools and see what is working for those schools and have a discussion about that, and then see what they're striving to want for their schools. Professional development to specialize in specific areas should be offered and integrated into the classroom so our teachers can better serve and teach our future leaders to provide the skills that are expected from employers. Thank you.
When a student graduates from Wamego High School, they should have a well-rounded education tailored to their postgraduate plans. Our curriculum should support college-bound students, students planning on technical or trade schools, and students planning on joining the workforce straight out of high school. All these students should have work ethic, critical thinking and problem-solving skills, leadership qualities, creativity, interview skills, and communication skills, including writing, and the ability to work in small groups.
I believe that the most important thing that we can teach our students as they graduate from USD 320 is how to communicate, not only written, but verbally. With technology always at our fingertips, it is so easy to just send an email, but then we lose the personal touch. We can have all the technology in the world, but if we cannot express our feelings and thoughts, how useful is that to us?
Okay, thank you guys. That is the end of our 5 questions. We are now going to have their closing statements. Remember, each closing statement is 2 minutes, and this time Michelle is not on the hot seat. She will F things, and Claudia will start things up, come down this way. And again, thank you guys, and I look forward to hearing your final statements.
Thank you, Bev. I've had 2 children go through USD 320. One graduating with a Putnam Scholarship and is now attending K-State. The other, it made it all the way to middle school, but is now doing an online academy. And had the USD 320 program extended down to middle school, we would have enrolled him there, because Mrs. Lindley runs an awesome program up at USD 320. It is from having my kids go through what they have. I know that every child is different, and we need to do our best to try to serve as many children as we can. I am thankful for the Parents as Teachers and the infant toddler program that both help my children overcome speech problems. Our district works hard to help children overcome. Our district worked hard to help our children overcome their speech issues and to become confident students. The staff here at USD 320 is top notch. And I hope that I can give back to the district that has served my family so well by serving on the school board. If I am elected, I want to make sure every stakeholder is communicated with and has a voice, from our retirees to our upcoming parents and future students. I hope that I can make sure all of you have a voice. And I would like to thank Crystal and everyone, and Darren and everyone that put this together tonight, and the Miller family. And I would also like to thank every one of you for coming out tonight, because coming to your dedication and coming to this event shows that you really care about our schools. And if you guys have any questions for me that I haven't addressed tonight, I'd be happy to talk to you after this. And I have a postcard back there with my email address, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Thank you.
I'd like to start by once again thanking Darren, Crystal, obviously Darren Miller for allowing us to use this facility tonight, and then for everybody that came out. Like I said, when I ran 4 years ago, I was unopposed. I'm excited that this is taking place. I'm excited that Claudia, and I get to come here and talk to you guys tonight and share our passion for our students. I think looking back over 4 years, that's been the number one thing I've tried to always keep to the forefront on every decision we've made as a school board, is what is best for students. And I believe if you have a school board, that is the number one thing on the forefront of their mind with every single decision, then you're going to have a successful school district. I want to reiterate that I'm beyond blessed to live in this community with the type of people we have, with our amazing administration, which a lot of you are here tonight, our teachers and staff. When we talk about hiring and retaining staff, we already have a wonderful, wonderful staff that works here. I know we're going to have to continue to recruit people into the future, and I welcome that opportunity. After sitting on the school board for 4 years, I can sit up here and honestly tell you I can be a better school board member and representative for you now than when I first started 4 years ago. It's very hard to replace experience in sitting on the board, having the opportunity to be president, to be vice president, to go through some of those very hard challenges. I said earlier, I'll say it again, it's been a very humbling experience to be a part of this, but something I've been very, very thankful, because when I get to spend time with our administrators, our staff, our teachers, custodians, everybody that it takes to run this district, I'm just so thankful that I'm here and my kids get to go to these schools and we get to be part of this community. I look forward to the opportunity to represent you for another 4 years. Thank you.
First, I would also like to thank the committee for putting the forum on, and all the candidates for coming out to be able to meet and share your opinions. Also, thank you to all of you who've come out, taken time out of your busy week to come witness this, and so show your support for all of us. I want our students, parents, teachers, and community to know that I have an open door policy. I want open communication between all invested members of this community. I too have a postcard back there with my email address on it. I'm here to stay after the meeting if anybody has questions, or please feel free to email me. A multitude of topics were covered tonight, but I want everyone in this room to take away at least one thing from me from this meeting. My ultimate goal on school board is to help all children in our district succeed. I do not just mean succeed at college or a future job, although obviously these are very high on the list. I want students in our district to be happy, healthy, productive members of society when they leave Wamego schools. They should be a shining example of how much this community cares for them. Thank you.
The past 4 years have just kind of flown by. It has been an honor to serve this community and serve the school district on the school board. One of the things that the Board of Education is responsible for is to be fiscally responsible with the dollars that we are allotted from the taxpayers. And while that is a priority, our number one priority is advocating for the students. As Ryan said, the board members that are here tonight, when we have a decision to make about a change in curriculum or a change in a policy, the question we ask each other is this best for our students? That is what we look at before we make a decision, because that is what we're here for, is to serve our students. We also must provide a safe environment where teachers and students feel protected so that they have the best opportunities to learn and to teach. And I am so proud of this district and want to continue to work to make this district that parents want to move their children to and want to be a part of. When I am reelected, I will continue to advocate for our students, ensuring that they have the best path to success after graduation. And one of the ways we'll do that is give them the confidence to choose whether they want to go to college or whether they want to go into a technical career or whether they want to just go into the workforce, because we have given them those opportunities during their high school education to learn that there are more than just college for when they get out. Again, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Crystal, Darren, and Beth. Not only thank you for being here tonight, but thank you for your accuracy in reporting our meetings every month. I go home and read what you write, and it's spot on. So thank you for that.
I too would like to thank everybody for coming tonight. It takes a lot to be able to come up and share our opinions with everybody and views. I believe that all the candidates up here have a true passion for our students and for our staff here at USD 320. I look forward to, if I am elected, to continue the legacy that my mom started with her many years of teaching here in the district. I feel that I had a great time in USD 320 growing up, and I've enjoyed my son being here. And if elected, I would too be open door and able to talk to anybody about any questions. So, thank you.
I'd also like to start by thanking the committee that put tonight together and made it possible, to the other candidates for being here and sharing their views, and for the community members who submitted questions for tonight and attended tonight to hear what we had to say. If I am given the opportunity to serve on the Board of Education, I will do my best to represent my district, the children, parents, and community members with open communication and a commitment to high-quality education and a great experience for our children. I also have cards back there with my email address. If you have further questions, and I'll be around for a little bit. I do better talking one-on-one than I do up here.
My passion has always been to be a teacher. And even though I'm retired, my passion is still there. I want all students to receive an education they could be proud of, that would provide them to be able to go out into the workforce in whatever path they choose. I believe that there needs to be an open, honest dialogue with teachers, administration, and school board members. I know that USD 320 has amazing teachers. And I think it's very important that they get the kudos they need for putting in the work, the time, and the effort that they do to educate all students in USD 320. We need to embrace these teachers and staff and let them know that. However, all teachers, staff, and administration should be held accountable for decisions that they are making. The only way we can make a district better is by working as a team and a family. I strive to be part of this and will do my best to help see that this does occur and to listen to what the community and the teachers have to say and let them know that their conversation with me is respected and valued and will be held confidentially. I also have been talking with students that have graduated from here and have gotten some valuable input from them. So I also strive to continue that conversation with them to bring that back to the school board if elected so that they can hear what they have to say. At this time, I also want to thank everybody who put this on. It was amazing. Thank you. And thank everybody who came out to listen to us. And again, if you have any questions, I do have a card also with my email address. Please don't hesitate to email me or ask me. Thank you.
Okay, I'll wrap this up. Okay, well, thank you for everyone for being here. I would value and appreciate the chance to serve once again on the USD 320 Board of Education. At times it is very tough, very frustrating, and there's been more than one time I've wanted to quit. But it's also been very rewarding. I think definitely the rewards and the things I've learned from sitting in this seat has outweighed any frustration and problems in that area. The current board members and myself are very passionate and have laid groundwork for many strategic and necessary items for the district, and I would love to see them through. The 7 of us work well as a unit, and along with our superintendent, Tim Winters, and his administration staff, we'll continue to oversee the education of our students, govern district operations, and adopt policies that make each and every one of us proud to be part of. I believe the last 4 years have proven that the Board of Education makes a difference in this community. You can be guaranteed that we take this responsibility to heart and want the best for everyone. I love this community, the district, and feel very blessed. I'll end with a quote which defines my life and expresses how I approach things. And it's a quote by Steve Prefontaine. To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. I'll end with that.
Again, thank you guys for coming. I don't know if Darren has anything to wrap this up. I'm sure he does.
I got a microphone, don't I?
Is this Julie Microphones now?
I was thanking everyone for coming out. How about a round of applause for all the candidates? I feel like I'm standing in front of somebody. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you for being involved in this. And as it says behind me, please don't forget to be involved. Not just you. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Get your kids, those of you who are voting age. Think about this. Where we've got Nancy McCarter from the county coming down and talking to our seniors at the high school here next week. Almost all those seniors are going to be voting in the presidential election next year. Right? Some of them can vote in this election this fall. Almost all of them are going to be voting in a presidential election. Not to mention all of our local races next summer and fall. It's a big deal right now. And so we appreciate everything that all of you have done and will continue to do to spread the word and to vote and to be informed and educated in our community. Thank you to Crystal. Thank you to Chanel and Kara for keeping time. Thank you to Beth for moderating. And again, everyone up here. I think everyone mentioned, or most of them mentioned, they could stick around a little bit and talk. If you do that, please keep an eye on the weather. There's some rough weather out north of Manhattan. kind of slide in this direction. So it's a storm that's got a thunderstorm warning on it right now. So keep an eye on that if you haven't been already. And a big thank you to Alan Sylvester for providing some tech. So Alan also, the last thing I want to say, Alan also has got us, he's moving us into the new age here at the chamber, but has got this so that it's streamed online and it's hosted there. So if you have friends that weren't able to watch, I know we had some people that had surgeries or other things who were able to tune in tonight to watch it. You can talk to him about how to access that, or there's a QR code on the back of your program. So again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Be safe with the weather, and thank you to all of our candidates for taking part.